Okay, now let's continue our discussion of extracting all the relevant data from the Hindenburgresearch.com for and Adani reports. So first thing we are going to do is get the response from this web page using our Python request. So for that, what we'll do request dot get, and we are going to this pass this URL. Now I'm going to get a soup. And now this soup will contain, okay, let me just show things. So response has status code 200. That means we have successfully got the response, and soup would have been created successful. Now let's perform our first task, that is to get all h2 headings. So for that, all we have to do is say soup dot find all, and we just pass h2, and let me store it in a variable called h2 headings. Okay, now let's explore the content of h2 headings. Okay, so we got it okay, so all the parts, first of all, we have introduction, and all the parts are stored in h2 headings. It looks a little dirty, so we can clean it up by calling a dot text field on each individual headings for a in h2 dot headings. Okay, so now we cleaned it a little. Okay, so we have first heading as introduction, second is stock parking, third is second is part 1 stock parking, third is part 2 the Adani group has a track record of engaging in illegal stock rigging with India's most notorious market fraudsters. So now these can be viewed as a sort of major headings that are mentioned in Adani's Adani's web page from this research website. Now the next thing which we thought we'll be doing is to get all the paragraphs, text, quotes, and images. Okay, so I'm going to get all the paragraphs and then h3 headings. Later two things, that is getting quotes and images, because that might require a little bit more sophisticated queries that we might do a little later. And the point number 5, that is associating all the h3 headings with corresponding h2 headings, that we are going to do towards the end. Okay, so let's do the simpler stuff first. We get the let's get all the h3 headings first and then all the paragraphs. So for that we can simply use the same technique which you use for h2. So we'll call it h3 headings, and these h3 headings we'll store, and then we are going to do the same thing that we did for h2 to get the cleaner version of h3 headings. Okay, so now here we have list of all the h3 headings. So one is like get your latest result. This is just something which we might have seen at the top of the page, which has nothing to do with the report, but a sort of the promotion element, which is like making people subscribe to the content of this website through email address, which is a good thing to do if you want your content to be promoted, which is fine. Now here we get a list of all the H3 headings. Now one thing that we have to do is to see which H3 heading belongs to which H2 heading. So that means what are out of all these headings, which of these belong to part 1 and which of these belong to part 2 and which of these belong to part 3 and so on and so forth. That we'll do in a moment, but before that let's also show how we can get the pages the paragraphs from the content of this page. So we call paragraphs. Sometimes I confuse paragraph with pages, which is not a good thing. So let's okay, and I'll do the same for paragraphs as well. So all paragraphs. Okay, so the paragraph which relates to initial disclosure comes at first, and then paragraphs from different headings are displayed here. Now this is how we can get the different contents. Now this particular section we will conclude by doing little difficult task. These seems to be very easy. So to do that one, I am going to extract one image. So all the images are tagged with class WP block image, and then we have some URL which is embedded in that tag. So we are going to find some trick so that we can get all the images. Now as you can see, the images are inside this tag called img. So if we try to find all the tags with img using the same technique that we use for getting h2 and h3, we will get images, but all of them might not be relevant to our like analysis. Anyways, let me do the same thing. I will just try to get all the images, and later on we will sort out and see which of the images are relevant and which of them are not. So that's one thing that we are going to do, and then we'll extract just the source part from this image. Now if we okay, let's just do that. So let me try to find all the images using the tag all images, and then we have to pass the tag here. Okay, if let's say I have to get the source of 8th image, then what I need to do is just do this and then pass src. Okay, so this is how we extract the source. Now if you want to just see what this image is, you can copy this and go here, open new browser, and okay, so you'll just get the image. So in some way, if we are able to find the source URL of all the images, then we will be able to figure out which image, like what are the images that are used, and then we'll use the same technique which later on we are going to use to relate all our H2 and H3 headings with the images. Okay, so that task we'll do probably next part. Here we have done some rudimentary steps to get the content in different categories. So in summary, we are getting all the h2 headings, h3 headings. We got text, images. Okay, one thing that we also have to get is the codes, but you can see the idea is simple. You just pass the tag and in soup.findAll, and you'll get all the content. So now these are some simpler stuffs that we have done, but they are required to collect the data in desired format. And probably next part we will see something more useful. Thank you.